welcome to today's edition of Bump to Business Owner. Today we are welcoming founders of March Muses, Natalie Devell and Alison Barton. In December 2018, one of Natalie's daughters asked if Christmas angels can be black. After finally finding Christmas ornaments online, they had to be shipped from the US at huge cost to the customer. So from that, March Muses was born in 2019 to create a range of festive decorations that represent them. They became the leading brand for Christmas ornaments of colour. Then in 2022, they took the plunge on Dragon's Den with a fantastic response from the Dragons and secured investment from Deborah Meaden. Not only are Natalie and Alison single parents of 3 children between them, but also run the business around their full-time jobs. Natalie and Alison, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. So I know it's been a little bit crazy. We're trying to get everything in with your full-time job. So thank you so much. And how I tend to like to start these podcasts is a little bit of your journey into becoming business owners. So tell us a little bit about your career path that came to this. And well, we know what led you to starting March Muses, but did you ever think you'd be business owners in your journey originally?
I mean, Alison and I have been business partners for coming up to maybe 11 years. And actually we've known each other for a very long time, but we connected when we had our babies around the same time. So our babies are 2 weeks apart. I say babies, 1 week apart.
Babies.
I say babies, but they are 12 right now, and they're young
still babies.
still are babies. But this is when we've had 3 businesses together. And so our first business was when our babies were very little, kind of just arrived, and we just knew that we didn't want to necessarily go back to full-time work, but we wanted to make money, or not wanted to, but also needed to make money. And it came out of a place of wanting to work for yourself, because obviously that's when you get the most flexibility when it comes to your children, and putting our skill sets together. So I've got a theatre background, so I went to the Brit School of Performing Arts. I've studied drama and acting and musical theatre all my life, and I've done lots of workshops with young people using theatre as a tool to promote discussion, debate, and kind of as an educational thing. And Alison comes from a recruitment background, so we were like, how on earth can we put our 2 skill sets together to come up with a business? And we did. We started doing careers workshops in schools. So we would kind of bring theatre and careers, brought it together, and it was so great because we were actually making a difference in so many young people's lives, something that schools were struggling with in terms of careers and how to kind of teach it. And so that was actually our first business. It was flexible. We were able to do it during term time, during the day. It brought in some money, and for a while it was really, really good.
That's amazing. I love hearing about creative backgrounds as well. Coming from one myself, I do wonder if like the performing background lends into the chaos of being an entrepreneur as well. So it's a natural progression,
without
isn't it?
a doubt. And this was one of the things that we always used to teach our young people. We always used to talk about transferable skills and all the transferable skills you have. So although you might want to be a lawyer one day, what are the transferable skills that you get from doing law that you can do in other things? So being a lawyer, you need to have presentation skills. So standing up in front of an audience, you need to be confident in that. You need to have research skills, and research skills can be used in so many different job opportunities. So we always talk about the transferable skills, and as an actress, definitely the transferable skills of creativity, being able to talk, presentation, thinking outside the box, improvising, because we had to improvise a lot and kind of fake it till you make it. And so we do a lot of that in our business.
Oh, fantastic. And so what was your second business then? So you had a first business. What was your second?
So the second business was our first sort of leap into Christmas. And we had a business, they were home elf visits. So if you can imagine, it was like a personalized Santa's grotto. So we had a pair of elves that would visit your children. It could be a party of 1 child, it could be up to 15, 18 children. And the parents would send us information about the children, and we would then personalize the visit. So Tommy would be sitting there, who's 6 years old, and we would say, Tommy, are you on the naughty or nice list? And we would talk about things that Tommy's teacher has told us, and they would be blown away because they're thinking, how do you know about my teacher? Or how do you know that I haven't been brushing my teeth properly? So that was really, really popular. We did it countrywide, and we did that for, I think, 3 years. And then COVID came, and then obviously with social distances, lockdowns, all of that, it kind of took that business away. But for that last year of doing that business, we were actually running the 3 businesses concurrently. So we were doing March Muses, which was just launching. We had the workshops in schools and also home elf visits as well. And that literally nearly wiped us out completely because
and were you working full-time
jobs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, were you working full-time with
Yeah.
these as well? Oh my goodness. Yeah,
so it was a lot to juggle, but that home elf visit, it was so popular. We still have parents emailing us now, are you guys ever coming back? Are you offering visits this year? But you know, we've moved on to March Muses, and that's our biggest baby and been our most successful baby to date. So that's where all our energy is right now, as well as still doing workshops in schools, but they're now entrepreneurial talks. So we go out to the schools from year 9 through to 6th form and give talks about our journey as entrepreneurs, about business in general, the Dragon's Den. So yeah, we still work with the schools. Yeah.
Do you think are young people really interested, from your experience of doing that, of starting businesses and becoming entrepreneurs? Are you like the new
way
rock
that
stars?
they respond like we're little superstars. We go to the school and we're stood there in the hall, and then they come in and they're like, oh, it's them, and they make us feel like celebrities. But what's really good is I think that we're quite relatable, because we're coming from a space of not of privilege. We're not like huge business moguls. We're mums just trying to navigate through business and entrepreneurship, and I think that that's what they can relate to.
Yeah, definitely. They can see their own mothers in you, basically, which is so great. And do you think the Christmas business kind of lended to help you understand the rush of running a product business at Christmas? That's the sort of waves the business comes in as well. Like, interested in the journey with that. It could help you prepare for March Muses and how your business runs now.
Absolutely. I mean, I think obviously the other 2 businesses that we had, I'd perceive them as being more service led. Although with the home elf visits, we did give gifts to the children. So we did get that little learning from there as to what it means to buy in bulk, shipment times, all of that. But yeah, being now in a product-based business, I find that we are reliant on a lot of other external forces. Whereas when you're service led, you are creating the content, you're delivering the content, you kind of minimize what could possibly go wrong. But in a product-based business, there are so many other external factors, and that's what is a good learning for us.
That's really interesting, because I think sometimes, being a service-based business owner myself, I think sometimes you can be a little bit like, oh, I just sell a product, it would be easier. And so I think it'll be really interesting to turn a little bit, like I've given a little snippet of how March Muses came about, but from you guys, the detail of like, what did you need to invest to start it, get this started, get this going at first, and keep, I mean, the quality.
We were very lucky. So we started, because we were running both businesses at the same time. That first year, we used some of the money from the home elf visits to invest in, and I would imagine I think we invested maybe £1,500. Like it wasn't lots. It was 15, like maybe about 1,500. And we, as Alison said, we learned how to do kind of bulk ordering and buying from China through our elf business. So we had kind of had all these designs that we wanted to have made. We would look at white angels, what we would change about them. And it's not just about changing skin color, because you will find that some places they sell a black angel, but it's a white angel painted black. So there's no thought about the hair. There's no thought about the body, about this, like the skin tones as well. I've got 2 daughters. One is lighter skin, one is darker skin. Same mum and dad, but that's just how black and brown people are. We come in different shades of beautiful brown. And just all the features. And so we wanted to be very particular when it came to that. So we had about 3 or 4 designs that we really had kind of honed in and made, with the Afro angel, and one with a headscarf. And we had a black Santa who was cool, and he had like a cane that he was holding. And then we found an amazing supplier in China to make these for us. And our first order, I think we maybe did like 100 of each SKU. So we had 6 products in total. I think we did like 100 of each SKU because we didn't know who was going to like it. We didn't know if they were going to like it, if we didn't even know how we were going to sell it. We didn't have a business model or anything just yet. We basically started an Instagram page. And that was our first leap into like, okay, we have to show people what we've got. So we opened the Instagram page. We posted on there something coming soon. We told all our friends. And then when the angels came over, our children were completely blown away. They'd never seen an angel with brown skin. And they were just like, oh my goodness, this looks like me. So we got excited, but you still don't know if other people are going to like it. And so we launched it. Literally, when I say launched, we said, okay, October the 1st, our shop is open. Our website was a do-it-yourself website that I did. I'm not a web designer. I did it like, it was like web design by numbers. So it was the most basic web page ever, but it did what it needed to do, and to sell our product and to, you know, bring in the money. And yeah, we launched it, told all our friends, and a bit like wildfire, it just spread because it was something that people had never seen before, especially in this country. And we sold out within like, you know, within a week. All the products that we had made had gone, and we were like, okay. And this was October the 1st. I remember it was October the 1st. So it was just at the beginning of Black History Month. And so we're like, okay, we need to speak to our supplier and see if they can send us some more, which luckily they were able to do a quick turnaround. But this is when we start making learnings. So if you want to do a quick turnaround, that's fantastic. But it's express, and express costs how much to get over here? Okay, that's fine. We'll pay the fee for it to get over here. Oh, lovely. It arrives. A couple of weeks later, oh, here's an import bill for 1,600. Pardon? What's an export bill? So these were it's not just buying something from Boohoo or Pretty Little Thing. It comes with so many added costs that we did not factor in at all. And so much so that when we started selling our decorations, we were selling them for, I think, £5 or like £6. Right now they're about £13. But we did not realize, we were just thinking, oh, that's a nice little profit. And actually, all the things that we did not encounter, we didn't think about, like the express fee, the import and export tax, all this kind of stuff. We were like, oh, we're actually going to make a loss if we don't raise the money of like what we're trying to sell them for, because we didn't account for all of that stuff.
That's great. I think no matter what business, service or product, you can all relate to that of like, oh, I've got to pay for this as well. And so that was 1st of October. So we're releasing this podcast in October for Black History Month as well. So how many years ago was that, this October?
That was 2019. So
2019.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So 1st of October 2019 we launched.
And I take you were packing
our 5th Christmas.
5th Christmas. Oh, yeah. Happy 5th birthday. How are you going to celebrate?
We'll have to find the time to celebrate first, but we'll be doing something. Definitely.
January. You're out the toddler years, so just. And so I assume you're also packing them at home. Like, what stage did you get to the stage where you felt, right, we're going to need to bring in a bit of help, or find some money to get in some help, or fulfillment? How did that look?
Plodding along in our kitchens, and I can't express to you, when Alison says it nearly wiped us out, it really did. So that very first year we were so excited, and we were calling in every favor, and you start to realize that business is really about who you know, who has to connect, who can connect you to this person, that person. I had a friend who had an auntie who worked at ITV, who did something with Lorraine, and like, you have all these kind of different things. And so literally we were just calling out favors, and somehow we got onto Lorraine. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Mark Hayes, absolutely fantastic. He was doing a fashion segment on Christmas. And he goes, oh, and your Christmas tree can look amazing. And also, I've just discovered this new business called March Muses. Look at their decorations. Aren't they beautiful? It's a shame that we don't have more of these. And that was it. It was literally 20 seconds of a plug. And that 20 seconds brought in £10,000 in that day. And when I say our decorations, so imagine our decorations, we're selling them for £6, £6.50. So to bring in £10,000,
how many orders is that?
You can imagine that was a lot of orders. And I remember sitting there and the phone just going ding, 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 ding. And I'm excited, but then I'm also thinking, hold on a minute, who's packing all of this? who's putting the labels on? Well, whose house are we doing it in? Alice and I, we called our mums, we called our friends, our kids, like everyone was involved in packing and shipping off. It actually took us about 2 weeks to get anything out because it was just so many. And then they'll do the replay. And then the replay, you bring in like another, £5,000. So the power of TV was amazing, but it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. And so after that, we knew that we needed help, but we don't have the money to have a fulfillment center just yet, because that's a big cost. All the and what we thought was just, we'll just send it to the fulfillment center and they'll do it. Actually, it's the insurance, it's that everything needs to be barcoded, everything needs to be boxed up, everything needs to be have lead testing, and there's actually so much cost in order to do that, in order to even get it to the point where it can go to the fulfillment center. And then the fulfillment center needs to talk to your website, and your website needs to talk to the fulfillment center. So it all needs to be integrated, and we're not web designers, we're not developers. So in order to do that, it was just like, we need more help. And then COVID happened and we were like, well, we're stuck at home anyway, so there's not much we can do. So we might as well just carry on doing it until we can figure out a way out of it.
Was that 2019 you got featured in This Morning then?
So the end of 2019.
Wow,
so
quick.
It was like November, December 2019. And then we knew that we were going to close the shop after January sales, and then we were going to reopen the shop probably like September 2020. But obviously 2020 was that lost year, which actually, it was great because Black Lives was having a real moment in 2020, but also that moment happened in the summer. It happened in like June, and we're a Christmas business, so no one's thinking about Christmas in June. So we were getting loads of questions like, oh my God, I've just discovered you, would love to buy some stuff. And we're like, yeah, we don't open until September, October. We haven't even got the stuff. You
literally weren't selling anything at this point.
No, because we had sold out. We had literally sold out of everything. So
I was going to say, how did you have £10,000 worth of stock from the Lorraine?
Literally, like by skin of our teeth, we managed to get everything from China in time to sell it, but then we sold out. And so we reinvested all that money to get more stock because we knew that it was going to be great. But then it takes time, and it takes, a few months. And we knew that we'd be ready for September. We weren't ready for June or July.
Yeah.
And did you manage to use that time at all during the Black Lives Matters movement? Did you use it for your personal brand, for March Muses as well, just to get the momentum for the Christmas time as well?
Absolutely, because we started the year 2020 with no one had any notion of COVID and how serious it would be and for how long. So we started planning as normal. So in 2019, we launched, like Nat said, with 6 products. 2020 now, we're looking at designing more products, having varying skin tones as well. Because as like Nat said, black doesn't come in one color. So we have a darker skinned angel and a lighter skinned one in some of the products that we have. And so by the Christmas 2020, we actually had about 19 products. So we went from 6 products up to 19, and all that came from the development and the sample testing and stuff like that during the earlier part of 2020. So for us as a Christmas business, yes, we all celebrate Christmas come November, December, Christmas parties, yes, get presents bought. But for us, Christmas starts in January.
The business planning, everything. And how did you manage working on the business as well, having your kids at home? For you, your kids would have been school age, so you were homeschooling, right? How? Do you mind me asking, how did you?
I don't know how we did. I can't even give you a succinct answer to that question. We just got on with it. So when not only are we, I worked from home anyway for a good 2 years prior to COVID, so I was used to working from home. But then throw in homeschooling, throw in the attention that we were getting for our business. We've had a lot of media coverage always from the beginning. Then we had people like yourselves approaching us for podcasts, and everyone's still wondering, what does this COVID thing mean? How long is it going to go on for? And so it was a real juggle, and it gave me a newfound respect for teachers, because I'm an older mum. So whatever they were presenting as schoolwork, I had no understanding of, why are you teaching my child this way? This isn't the way that I learned it. So it was a bit of a minefield, but we managed to get our way through it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's so impressive. And so And what stage then did you decide to think, because you guys were on Dragon's Den and you'd gone through this whole journey through 2020, and how was your business at the end of 2020? Were people, because people were at home still, really? Were they
It was
still,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
the very
fantastic.
first year we turned over £12,000. So that was 2019. And then for 2020, we turned over 76,000.
Wow.
So it was a huge leap, and it was on the back of Black Lives Matter and just
Amazing.
people wanting to understand more about, because our decorations aren't just decorations. They're used to teach young children how to discuss race. Parents didn't know how to discuss race with their children, especially white parents or parents who weren't black or brown. And so they would always ask us, how do I start that conversation with race? And we always said the same thing. You start it with books. You start it with the shows that they watch. You start it by buying a decoration, hang it on your tree. You don't even need to discuss it. It's just, let it just be there so that they see
Normalize.
it. Because you can't, like, if they see it and it's just around them, you don't even have to even have that conversation. It's just normal and not novelty. So that second year we bought in 76, we saw that there was such a huge appetite. And so we walked into 2021 with like, okay, now what should we do? How can we build on this? Because we know that unfortunately, especially with trends, that Black Lives Matter essentially is a trend. It will come and it will go. And so how do we maintain this? How do we keep it going? And then Alison just had this, I don't know where it came from, but she was like, we should go on Dragon's Den. And I was like, I mean, we love Dragon's Den. Like, we used to watch it. I watched Dragon's Den and Apprentice 2 and 2, like on a Thursday whenever it comes on. And I was a bit apprehensive at first. I was like, oh, I don't know. Just,
But the thing is
it's a
that,
lot.
in all honesty, like during this whole journey up until that point of me coming up with this harebrained idea of Dragon's Den, we'd been trying to knock on retailer doors,
Oh,
because we could
really? Right.
see that there was such a great response to our product. People were loving them, people of all nationalities as well. It wasn't just for Black people. Like,
Yeah.
we have more white customers than we do Black customers. And
Interesting.
so, yeah, which is something that everyone is always surprised by. And so we're thinking, right, we need to get these out there. So we're trying to have conversations with companies like John Lewis and Selfridges and all the other big retailers. And it's just proving to go nowhere. You start a conversation, dies, or you're just being ignored. And so I just said, right, now, I think we need to go on the Dragon's Den. What better way to get our business out there? And we know that people want it.
Yeah.
And so rather than...
Because people were getting angry at us. They were like, oh, why can't I buy this in the shop? Why can't I get this from like my
You're like,
local
we're trying.
garden centre?
Yeah.
I'm like, we are knocking on doors, guys. Like, but the gatekeepers are gatekeepering and they're not ready. And when you think about the people that work in these corporates, they don't look like us, and it doesn't affect them. I was like, well, they're like, a black angel. Why do we need that? Angels are white, aren't they? Like, they don't think outside the box. And even, we're in 2023, and still a lot of these companies don't have diversity when it comes to angels. Still, you're like, or they're doing the same old thing of painting a white one black, which again is really offensive. So it's just, we wanted to shut people up because they kept asking us, why aren't we there? I'm like, we're trying, we're really trying.
We're really
But
trying.
the funny thing is, though, that with that question, so prior to going into the Dragon's Den, because of these questions of people saying, I can't find your stuff on the high street, I don't want to shop online, la 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 la. So Nat did a powerful rant on Instagram. And this rant was shared and shared and shared, and fell into the lap of quite a few buyers. And one of those buyers was the buyer at Selfridges.
Oh, wow.
So from that, people's questions and feedback of why can't we find you online, on the high street, led to him seeing Nat's rant, got in touch with us, and then we had a pop-up in Selfridges for just one weekend. And in that one weekend, in the iconic Selfridges, we outsold all of their Christmas decorations.
Oh, fantastic. That gave me goosebumps. And that's
It
fantastic.
still
It
gives
also
me
shows,
goosebumps.
yeah.
We actually brought in more money than some of the, the nice brands that they have in store. We all know who they are. And in our little 2-day period, we brought in more money than some of those big designers.
Amazing.
And so, again, the power of having a rant, the power of social media, your customers not afraid to give and share feedback, help to bring about that opportunity with Selfridges. And now we're stocked in Selfridges. On the back of the success of that concession stand for a weekend, we're stocked in Selfridges. So, whatever it is that you're doing in business, there isn't just like one formula. There's so many other little different moving parts, and you never know who's watching.
And it shows, and when you're also purpose driven, and which your business is, it's not about just your products, it's what they represent and the purpose for them. And so it shows you follow that and have the passion for that. It was down to your passion and
that's what gets us through those long nights, because we are exhausted, but it's our kids' faces. It's that is the sole purpose of this business. It's our children, when they first saw those angels and they couldn't believe it, and now when we show them angels, they're like, it's a brown angel, what? And they're so blasé about it. And that's exactly what we want. We want all kids to be blasé about a brown angel because they've seen thousands of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's the big deal? That's what we want.
And you'll have started that. So I know that's fascinating also that you applied for Dragon's Den. For some reason, I just naturally assumed you would have been approached, because I know a lot of businesses do get approached, kind of thing. So tell us what the application process looks like.
Oh my goodness, it is super extensive. It's very thorough. So you do an application. You don't even know if your application is going to be received, acknowledged, anything. And then we've got an acknowledgement. Oh, thank you for your application. We're like, oh, okay. And then they require a lot of due diligence from you about your business, the status of your business, what you've done so far.
Which is actually really helpful, because there's a lot of things that we didn't have in place. And so actually just, regardless of whether we got onto Dragon's Den or not, just doing that due diligence for us actually helped us as a business. It helped us kind of be like, okay, let's make sure that our business plan is there. Let's make sure we've got all the right insurances. Let's make sure, and they had a whole list of all the things that you needed to do. But bear in mind, we applied for Dragon's Den in March 2021, or April 2021, around that time. And then we got the come and film, and after we sent like a video and everything like that, and we filmed it on June the 17th. I remember this because my nephew was born on this day. So June 17th 2021 was when we filmed our episode in Manchester, Birmingham.
Yeah,
I can't
in
remember
Manchester I think it was at that point the hottest day of the year.
Oh gosh.
So not only did you have to contend with being nervous, it was the heat, it was just the whole intensity of being on the show. And when the pictures aired the following year in April, you see like 13 minutes of us in the den, but we were actually in there for almost 2 hours. So an intense 2 hours. Imagine it being the hardest interview of your life with 5, business moguls in front of you. We're stood there in heels. You're not allowed to have any kind of notes or paperwork to keep you on track. There's no cut and have a little makeup touch up and a sip of water. It's just hardcore running through the whole pitch. And it got really, really intense in there, along with the heat of being the hottest day of the year.
And I will never, ever, ever wear heels again for any sort of, ever since then, I've been in Jordans, I've been in trainers for everything that I've done. Never again, because I feel like
advice for anyone listening.
it's the best advice, because obviously you think, oh, businesswoman, I'm gonna be my heels and smash it and look sexy while I'm doing it. Absolutely not. Never again. And I kind of feel, I don't know if you've watched the episode, we don't negotiate because we want to get out and take off our shoes. So when they did offer it to us, and also it was Deborah Meaden and Peter Jones actually who offered us the money, and so they're both on board.
We got both of them. Fantastic.
Yeah, we got both of them. Yeah. So when they offered it to us, we were like, yeah, okay, thank you. And when we ran out, I swear to God, I could not wait to take the shoes off. That's my only concern.
And that's the thing, as we got out, we took our shoes off, and then the researchers were like, okay, now Deborah and Peter want to meet you. And oh my God, I've got to put the shoes back on. So, but yeah, make yourself as comfortable as you can. If you're out there pitching for anything, be as comfortable as you need to be, whether it be me, I was in a short sleeve top because it was so hot, whether you need to be in flats. And we've done talks since then. And like Nat said, we're always in trainers or flats.
And I've watched it, and you guys come across amazing too. Wouldn't have thought that you were desperate to run off and take your heels off. But so what I want to know, you're there for 2 hours, you know your stuff. How long did that take you to prep for? How did you go about prepping for that? Because anyone who's raising money for investment will need that knowledge and sort of grilling that you guys got.
So a couple of things that I would say. So the first thing that we did, we would watch every single episode of Dragon's Den. We would pause it on a question and we would answer it as our business. So they'll ask a question, I will pause it, I said, Alison, answer that. And then she'd do the same. She'd pause it, right, you answer that. And so it'd be like all these kind of different questions. We also have amazing people around us. As Alison said, we both work full time. And I remember when I told my manager, oh, we're going to go on Dragon's Den. And he's a really cool white guy. And he was like, amazing. I'm going to set up a fake Dragon's Den. And we're going to have a practice. And so he called in the head of sales, the head of advertising, all the different heads. And they did, just on one evening over Zoom, a fake, Dragon's Den for us for 2 hours. And it was so amazing. This is what we talk about with allyship. We talk about allyship. We talk about your village. We talk about community. And like, it actually makes me emotional because I'm just like, it got us through all the right wordings, all the things to say. If we didn't know the answer, they would ask us an answer. Okay, what's your route to market? And if we didn't know, they'll go, okay, you need to do this, 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 and this. And so it just gave us the importance of that network is just amazing. And actually, when we went there, although dragons were hard, I think my manager was a little bit harder, which he was very.
They were way worse. Oh my God, the guys at Red Bull were way worse. And that's exactly what we needed, because I actually, up until that meeting with the Red Bull guys, I felt quite prepared. And it just highlighted how unprepared we really were, because they're talking a different language and they know the dialogue that's going to be happening in that den and wanted us to present really, really well. And it translated really well when we got into the den, because we were getting so many compliments like, oh God, you guys are awesome, as entrepreneurs, you're so inspiring. And that came from the help of that preparation pitch with the Red Bull managers.
The help and you guys doing the work as well, essentially. You did the work, and that's,
they just gave us a bit of a polish.
You can't skip that. But they went harder. That's it. I like that. So remember that. Go harder.
They went harder, but also they used their privilege. And that's the thing. We talk about white privilege, we talk about work privilege. We all have some sort of privilege, and it's how you use it. How are we going to use this privilege? They saw an opportunity. They're equipped with information that as Black women, we haven't been equipped with, because we haven't been in the right spaces to get that knowledge, whereas they have quite easily. And so it's using that privilege for good and to help someone else, not to get anything out of it, just apart from I'm just going to give you some wisdom. If it helps, it helps. If it doesn't, at least I tried. And that's all we ask for when we talk about community, when we talk about privilege, when we talk about, even being on this podcast, you're using your platform for us, and we have to be thankful for that, because you'll reach some people that we won't be able to reach. And so you are amplifying our voices, and everyone can do that. Everyone can do that in some shape or form. We do it with young people when we kind of, talk to them about careers and stuff like that. So, if you want to do good and you're always like, oh, how can I help? How can I help to a cause? I don't really want to, I haven't got much money. It doesn't need money. It's as simple as liking a Facebook page, liking an Instagram post, sharing something, talking. It's I have one friend, she's Jewish. And she was like, I don't celebrate Christmas, but I'm buying one. I'm buying one, and I'm gonna pay it forward. And that just really that touched me in such a way, because she doesn't celebrate Christmas, but it was beyond that. It was about supporting Black women in business. It was about, she's going to buy it, and I think she donated it to the local library or something. And so it's all those things. There's so much that everyone can do, and so it's so important to have that network and to use your privilege in the right way.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and the allyship, as you said, with the people that supported you for Dragon's Den, that's fantastic that they use that, and hopefully, and you guys are paying it forward as you do. So
without a doubt, it's all we do, and we truly believe in that. We believe in karma. We believe in what goes around comes around, and we hope the way that we talk about people in rooms that they're not in, we hope that there are other people out there talking about us in rooms that we're not in yet. And they're going to open those doors for us, and that's how you make the world go round. That's how you generate the wealth and share the wealth.
Oh, fantastic. And thank you so much for sharing that. And I think something I always like to ask on this podcast, because I know we discuss your full-time mums, you full-time workers, mums, or is a full-time job, and you've got your business, and we talk about a little bit about the phrase, how do you do it? I don't know how you guys feel about that phrase, but when I've been asked it, it's more like someone who's desperate to see if there's a secret behind it, or someone who really respects that we're running businesses and are mothers as well. So I've never seen it as a bad term, but some people do, and I see where it comes from, is men aren't asked the same question. But so how do you feel about that phrase firstly, and how do you do it? It's the second one.
I mean, for me, I do get slightly annoyed by the, when you're at an event, oh, who's got your daughter?
Oh, yeah, that's a different
even
question.
A question? Like, I'm here. There's so much more questions that you could ask, but that is one of them. That does trigger me a little bit.
That's a different question, I feel, and definitely one that shouldn't be asked when you're working.
No, exactly. But in terms of how do we do it all? So we have been running around like headless chickens for quite a while. And now that we've had the opportunity to scale our business up, so we have the fulfillment center, we have an accountant, we have an admin assistant, and these are all people that work as on a freelance basis. But what it does is it enables us to free up a little bit of time. And then with that time, we now focus on the business, developing new products, looking at new ideas, other different routes into market. It doesn't make us any less busy, but it makes our approach to our business a little bit more structured. Now, within that, I'm a true believer in self-care. So I think that whatever it is that helps you to create balance in your life, it could be reading a book, it could be going for a walk, it could be a spa, it could be a holiday. Like Natalie and I, we both went on holiday earlier this year because we had such a busy Christmas that we were actually almost at that burnt out stage. The 2 weeks off that they have at school and everything else, that wasn't enough to recharge our batteries. So I went on holiday to Cape Verde for Easter, and Natalie went to Dubai for Easter. And it was just that down tools moment, although I think we did do a little bit of work whilst we were there, couldn't escape that. But it was just being away from our usual environments, not stuck in front of a laptop all the time. And with all of these different things coming our way, kids, work, business, family, friends, we somehow have to incorporate all of this into our lives. And you can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to bring a little bit back to yourself, get yourself centered. And so for me, spas, holidays, walking, drinking lots of water, combined with Prosecco and champagne, it gets me through.
It's all about balance.
Yeah, I think I'm a big believer in fake it till you make it. So I'm definitely faking it. I haven't made it yet. So I'm just kind of plodding along. This is a chapter in my book, and I know that the next chapter will be very different. And I know that nothing stays the same. The only thing that's constant is change. But I'm with Alison. I literally just downloaded a steps app, and it counts all your steps. And like on Thursday, I did 8,000 steps. And on Friday, I did 16,000 steps. And on Saturday, I did 77 steps. And that's because I didn't move from my couch. And me and my daughters, my youngest one, my oldest one, she's too cool for me. So she's on TikTok and up in her bedroom the whole time. But my youngest, we watched Parent Trap, Princess Protection, something, and Freaky Friday. So we had like a Lindsay Lohan, movie-thon. And when I say I did 77 steps, that was probably to go and get the Deliveroo from the door and then back to the couch again. And it's having those days. And I haven't had the days like that for a very long time because it's just go, go, go. So it's important to have those days of almost absolute nothing that you can recharge and then get back into it. So that's how I do it, knowing that I've got those days coming up. But also I just know that this isn't going to be forever. This is just a time in our lives, just like when they're kids, they're not going to be a baby forever. That awful time when they got colic and they're coughing and they can't poo, and that dreadful time when they can't communicate with you and tell you what's wrong, or when they've always got a cold. Like, it's not always going to be like that. It's going to change. And so we have stages in our lives. So right now it's really busy. It's crazy busy, but it won't always be like this.
Yeah.
And also, like, I'm a great tennis fan, and I keep seeing it all the time where Billie Jean says that pressure is a privilege. And it's absolutely true, because we've seen, unfortunately, so many small businesses like ourselves, same kind of size, same type of being in business the same amount of time, and they've gone under. So, when you look at that and you think how busy we are and how sometimes you just want an extra hour of sleep, or you just want to just turn the laptop off early, but there are companies that have gone under. And so for us, really, the pressure is a privilege.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting that, because it has been quite incredible this year to see some of the small businesses go under, and female-led ones as well.
Yeah.
And so that's so true. And thank you for sharing that. I know we've got to wrap up now. There's so much more I could ask, but I'd love to, being a seasonal brand, this is October, so you're ramping up to your busy period, and it's Black History Month. Is there anything you'd like to share with us about what we can buy from you, how we can support you?
Sure.
Yeah.
So first of all, we're not only just Christmas. This year we did actually launch, last year, sorry, we launched for Valentine's, Mother's Day, we have Father's Day. So all these different celebrations are on our site available, different products. We have bedding, gifting for children. But for this year, we will be back stocked in Liberty London. We'll also be stocked in Selfridges. We'll have our amazing website, but we're also launching our 5-year deal with Tesco in October. So this month of October, we will be launching nationwide in Tesco's. It will be Christmas gifts, it will be homeware, it will be cards and wrap, baby pajamas, little mini-me outfits for mums and babies and children. So a great opportunity for us as a business. We were knocking on that Tesco door for almost 2 years, and we finally got in. And what a way to get in. And they truly get behind the diversity of our products, get behind supporting small businesses as well. I think we're the only brand of our size that they've collaborated with, which is huge for us. And Black women in business as well. So it's a great opportunity. And, however you like to shop, whether you're a Selfridges shopper, you like to shop online with us, or, on the high street, every little counts, every little helps.
That's so exciting. I'm so pleased for you. And what if we want to find you online, because we're not an in-person shopper?
So we are on online, marchmuses.co.uk. We are at March Muses on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook as well. And also, if you want to email us, info@marchmuses.co.uk. We are always open to lots of feedback. We're open to collaborations with other businesses. We do entrepreneurial talks. So if within your business, that your listeners, if they have a business or if they're a diversity champion and they want someone to come and speak about business, about being a Black-owned business for Black History Month or whenever, where we're always available.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. And thank you so much for being honest about your journey, everything about, knocking down Tesco's door for 2 years, and you're pitching for Dragon's Den and the work you put in. And it's definitely going to be inspiring for people out there, and to know that things don't fall on your lap. You need to go out there and just keep going and use your relationships as well. So, thank you so much for joining me today, both of you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.